You know, I have a lot of hobbies, but my favorite hobby is drawing. I love to draw. It's something I do every day. I usually draw once a day, and I usually use, pencils. I sometimes use colored pencils, but I always use markers to color. Okay? I always use markers. I love to use markers. They're my favorite medium. Okay? As you can see, I have a lot of markers. A lot. These are my favorite. But I hardly use them. Although I never use these actually. But that's okay. Like I said, I have a lot, and I always use these markers. So, and that's usually because, well, like I said, I love to draw. I usually draw every day. Once again, what I just used was a combination of simple present and this, that, these, and those with the lessons we're going to see today. Again, try to listen. Okay? Try to listen at what I said. Okay? If you can, as a short activity to practice your listening skills, try to write down the initial conversation. Okay? Try to write down the initial conversation. Okay? That way you can practice and see if you actually heard it right. And I'll post later what the answer was. I'll probably put it in the description tomorrow. Or, the next day from when this video was posted. So today, this video shouldn't be long. We're only going to see 2 topics. Again, this video will have 2 parts. Part 1, we're going to see has and have. And part 2, adverbs of frequency. 2 topics I use in the conversation in the beginning. So, well, let's see what we're going to use. Okay? First, let's talk about has and have. Yes, you know what has and have is for, right? For possession. Right? Have and has, or has and have, are mainly used for possession. And it's a verb. Honestly, it's a verb. It's an action. And usually what we do is how I said it in the beginning. I have a lot of markers. Well, it's supposed to be in a small m. There we go. I have a lot of markers. As you can see, the structure is pretty simple. First, we have the subject. Then, have or has. Then, the complement. It's not hard. Okay? It's not hard at all. Now, notice what I use here. A little tip. Okay? Please use a lot of for now, por ahorita. Do not use much. Okay? You may feel tempted because much is very similar in sound. Se escucha igual. It's very similar in sound to mucho. But mucho and much have different uses. That's why I want you to use a lot of. Okay? Use a lot of. Do not use much. At least not yet. Aún no. So as you guys can see, this is the structure. But be careful. Has will not be used always with I, you, we, and they. Has is actually only used, solo se usa, with she, he, and it. She, he, and it, you will use has. And when it's I, you, we, and they, you will use have. Okay? For example, she has, let's see, she has a dog. I have a dog. See? She has a dog. I have a dog. Of course, you can make this better. For example, in the beginning, I said I have a lot of markers. Okay? You can do a lot, or I have, 2, 3 dogs. Or you can try and describe. Voy a intentar describir with adjectives. I have 2 golden retrievers. Or I have 2 small puppies. Or I have 2 big cats. As you can see, have and has is really not that hard. Just keep in mind that it's going to be like this: subject, have and has, and complement. Make sure to put this in your notes for my students in high school. Right? Make sure to put these 2 things in your notes, and the example, change it up so it can be personal to you. Okay? But other than that, that's how have and has is used. Okay? There isn't really another way to use it, and of course, there's, you just have to remember how to use it in negative. Now, how do we use it in negative? Well, that's also pretty simple. This is still simple present. So, what you're going to do is do you remember? Don't have a cat. I don't have a cat. So you're going to use don't. Be careful. If you're going to use she, you're going to use doesn't. And what do you think? Are we going to use have or has? Choose have or has. Well, if you said have, you are wrong. If you said has, correct. She doesn't have, oops, my bad. She doesn't have a cat. Alright? Oh, wait, I messed up. I messed up. I got a little confused. What I meant is, of course, if you said have, you are correct. If you said has, of course, you are wrong. I'm sorry, my head is in the clouds right now. I want to go to sleep. So, this is what you guys notice. You're going to use doesn't. Okay? Doesn't have. Why have? Why is it have and not has? I mean, we use has for she, he, it. Right? Lo usamos para eso. Why not here? Why not in negative? Well, because doesn't is already doing the work. You see? We have don't and doesn't. Doesn't is already doing the work. Ya está haciendo el trabajo. And for that reason, we don't have to add has. Because doesn't is already doing the work of has. Ya está haciendo el trabajo de has. No hay razón para agregarlo. Okay? It will kind of be like repetition si agregan has. Okay? But other than that, that is how you use have or has. You use them mostly, of course, for possessions and the things you have. Alright? For example, again, I have lots of markers. I have lots of drawings. I have colored pencils. I have dice. Okay? I have lots of pens. You see? You can use it like that. Also, remember, if you're going to use a name, for example, she, let's say my sister, you are going to use has. My sister has a cat. You see? If you're going to use, for example, my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad, it's going to be has. If you're going to use a name like Rebecca or Sarah or David or Derek, it's going to be has. Okay? But that's what you're going to use first. Now, that was part 1. Okay? Let's go on to part 2. Remember, if you have any questions, please ask them. Now, part 2 is a little bit more complicated. We're going to talk about adverbs of frequency. Now, adverbs of frequency. What are adverbs? Well, Adverbs of frequency are usually used to say how often we do an activity. Okay? Matter of fact, in the beginning conversation, I used adverbs of frequency. Okay? Or frequency adverbs, whatever floats your boat. But we're going to see today just a few. We're going to see 6, okay? And the ones we're going to be seeing are going to be never, always, often, hardly ever, sometimes, and usually. Okay? And here, what we have are, well, the frequency. Okay? The frequency. Let's put an activity. Let's say what I used in the beginning, okay? What I used in the beginning, which would be draw. So let's put in this occasion. I draw, and that's it. That's simple present, right? I draw. Now, first, these of course are not in order. So let's put them in order. First, I'm pretty sure you know what never is. Especially if you ever seen any movie or song, you'll probably hear never. Never, of course, is in the 0. Always, right? First, try to guess. Intenten adivinar. Where do they go? Always, well, of course, will go here. That looks wrong. Let's just put normal. Always. Okay? So now we got never, always, often. Where do you think often goes? Well, if you thought here, you're wrong. Often is a 60%. Okay? Now, what about, let's see, hardly ever? Hardly ever would be a 10%. What about sometimes? Of course, you know what sometimes is, or maybe not. But by the way it sounds, if you said here, you are correct. Sometimes. Sometimes. Okay? And 80% will be our last one. Usually. Now, like you guys can see right there, these are frequencies, okay? Or adverbs of frequency. We use this, or we use these, to explain how often we do certain activities. For example, again, draw. If I draw on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, and Sunday, which one will I use? Always, right? Because I draw every day. So it's I always draw. Why? Because it's a 100%. I do it every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I always draw every day, okay? I always draw every day. Now, what if I draw, let's say, I draw Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and, well, Sundays. Alright? 5 days. That's not always. That would be a usually. Okay? So, you would use I usually draw every day. Well, let's not use every day. Let's just put I usually draw, let's see, in my house. Let's use something different. See? Again, I usually draw. Now, let's erase these two. Where did I put my eraser? I lost my... Oh, here it is. So, let's continue again. Now, let's say I draw on Monday, Friday, and sometimes Wednesday. Oh, sorry, 3 days. 3 days out of 7. Which one am I going to use? Okay? If you thought I'm going to use sometimes, well, you're correct. I could say I sometimes draw. I sometimes draw. Of course, depending on your activity, you can also say I often draw. Okay? But sometimes is more correct in this occasion. I sometimes draw. You know, when I'm free, I sometimes draw. Now, of course, if you have no talent whatsoever in art and arte, I'm pretty sure you have talent somewhere else, even if it's talent in sleeping. Okay? You can also say I never. I never draw. I never run. I never sing. I never sleep. Things like that. Okay? Or, for example, for some of you, I never do my homework. Oh, you sad, sad souls. But that's what you can use. Okay? Now, there are some things you have to keep in mind about frequency. Look, we're going to use a simple let's say I run in the park. Oh God, it's green. Alright, I run in the park. If we're going to use, let's say for example, often, where are we going to put it? Where? Here? 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 Or here? Well, the correct answer is here. Right? Frequency adverbs usually go next to the subject. I often run in the park. I often draw, or my bad, I'm still drawing. I often run in the park. That's pretty simple. I sometimes run in the park. I never run in the park. I usually run in the park. I always run in the park. You see? It's gonna go right there. Now, I will admit, sometimes is different. You can actually say, sometimes I run in the park. Okay? You can say sometimes I run in the park. But for now, por ahora, solo usen sometimes así. Do not use often here. Alright? Oops, my bad. Okay? Often, never. Alright? No, those are incorrect. These are wrong. Do not use them in the front. No lo usas al inicio. Only, for example, I often, I never, I usually, I sometimes, like that. Sometimes is the only one for now, is la única por ahorita, that you can use in the beginning. Now, why is it important to use this? Porque es importante. Well, if you mix this up, si mezclan esto con lo que vimos, lo que vieron en el otro video, well, your sentences will be a lot more richer. Okay? They'll have a lot more content. For example, again, a simple sentence would be I run. But you can say, oh yeah, you know, I usually run in the park every morning when I have a chance. You know? See? And it sounds more natural. Using these words, it's going to help you, improve in your English and sound a little bit more natural. Like I said, try to think in English now, okay? Alright. So that was the lesson for today. I said that today's was going to be a little bit shorter. Now, before we finish though, I want to touch some topics where some of you messed up. Okay? First and foremost, and this is only for my high school students, okay? Para los chicos de prepa. Los demás, pues ya se acabó la lección aquí, el repaso. Now, here's something I want you to know. Unos errores que tuvieron, chicos, fue... No me entregaron sus notas. Solo me entregaron ejemplos. Tengan cuidado con los trabajos que pedí. Pedí que me entregaran notas y ejemplos. O sea, notas de lo que están viendo en el video. Now, of course, okay, pedí que ustedes intenten agregarle más a la conversación. Unas personas me hicieron exactamente como lo escribí aquí. Okay, y no digo que me copiaron, no me copiaron. Más bien escribieron, por ejemplo, I am sad. No, es demasiado fácil para ustedes. Ustedes deben intentar de agregarle más. For example, I'm sad every day. O usen lo que vimos ahorita. I'm usually sad, you know, I have a lot of problems. Intenten de agregar un poco más. No me pongan cosas muy básicas, porque son cosas que ustedes ya saben. Solo estamos repasando para que ustedes lo usen en escritura. Y recomiendo que empiecen de una vez, porque si les voy a estar dando trabajo de escritura, donde pues si usan el traductor lo voy a anotar. Ok, I always notice. Solo que muchas veces me canso de mencionárselos. Ok, tengo hasta 2 videos que estoy seguro que no muchos de ustedes vieron, que les expliqué cómo usaron el traductor y otras cosas. Bueno, pero ese es uno de los errores que noté. El otro error que noté, chicos, fue esta. Cuando estamos usando simple present, tomen en mente, it's I play. Okay, I play PS4. Let's see. PS4, porque creo que alguien me lo puso así. Okay. Si ustedes van a usar like, solo cuando usan like y love, van a usar to. Okay. Si usan like, tienen que usar to. Si usan love, tienen que usar to. I love to sing. Okay. I love to play soccer. Okay. Así lo van a usar. Now, of course, si ustedes solo se van a pasar directo a un objeto, ustedes van a decir I like dogs. Pero si ustedes van a decir que les gusta hacer algo, cantar, jugar, van a agregar to. Bueno, esas son las únicas cosas que noté, chicos. Como siempre, tomen notas y entreguen los ejemplos que sean conforme a ustedes. Ahora, por favor, por el amor de Dios, no se pasen los ejemplos. Ok, no todos, pero unas 2 personas se pasaron 1 o 2 ejemplos y pensaron que no iban a notar porque cambiaron mínimo una palabra. Pero intenten hacer los ejemplos personales a ustedes, que sean de su personalidad, que sea de su casa. ¿Ok? Por favor, también que los ejemplos no se traten de algo que es muy común. ¿Qué me refiero con común? O sea, algo que, por ejemplo, me gusta comer. Así me refiero. Bueno, eso es todo, chicos. Espero que tengan un buen día y disfruten todo lo que hagan por hoy. También tengan en mente que esto lo voy a pedir para las 3, las notas. ¿Ok? La asistencia solo se va a tomar por el chat y tengan esas cosas en mente. ¿Ok? So keep that in mind. And like I said, have a good day. Don't die of stress. Okay? Believe it or not, I care. I care a lot. Okay? So take care. Have fun. And, well, do your work.